It's Adrian Bo, CEO of Adrian Bo Auction and Training, and also Chief Auctioneer for Ray White Teslin Group in Quakers Hill. What a day today. I conducted 7 auctions for Josh Teslin, and we had 100% clearance rate, selling all 7 under the hammer, all above the reserve price. Now, we're certainly bucking the trend with 1,500 auctions scheduled for this week, and the most recent clearance rate was last weekend nationally of those 1,500, and that was only at 59% nationally. So we're certainly focusing on the process, we're certainly ignoring the status quo, and we're certainly ignoring the outer marketplace. We focus on the inner marketplace, which is forensic buyer work, high quality vendor education, and high quality marketing and presentation. We know we can control those factors. We know that we can't control the ambivalence around interest rates. We know that we can't control what's happening in geopolitical environment. We know we can't control the cost of living. So we focus on the process, and the outcome ends up occurring for us due to the hard work and the manifestation of positivity and excellent results. Now, we first had 26 Medow Drive in Quakers Hill. That sold for $1,475,000. That was a modern 2-level home. We had 5 registered parties for that one. Outstanding sale there. 38 Lovegrove Drive in Quakers Hill. We sold that for $118,500, and that was with 8 registered parties, and that was a freestanding single level home there. Then we went to a townhouse 16 at number 22 Highfield Road, also in Quakers Hill, and that sold for $773,000, and that was with 4 registered parties, and that was a nice modern townhome. Then we went to 501 at 25 Railway Road in Quakers Hill, which is unusual to do an auction at this price point and for an apartment building, but we are passionate and very defiant about the auction process, and we had 4 registered parties, and it's a 3-bedroom modern style, and we sold that under the hammer for $665,000. Then we went over to 82 Grandeur Parade in the precinct of Riverston, and that sold for $870,000. We had 5 registered parties. That was an immaculately renovated townhouse with parking. Then 3 Mount View Avenue in Doonside, and that was an outstanding sale, selling for quite many hundreds over the reserve there at $995 with 14 registered parties. So an outstanding result for that family. Lovely family to sell for as well. And that was a single level on a large piece of land. Then we finished up with another townhouse at 21 at 16 Hillcrest Road, also in Quakers Hill, and that was $860,000 with 4 registered parties. That was a beautifully renovated townhome with double parking there as well. Now, the lease of the week through Ray White Quakers Hill, the Teslin Group with Chloe and Anthony, outstanding leasing team there, was 5 at 3 Sidhu Place in Quakers Hill, leasing for $780 per week, and that's a 4-bedroom, 2-bed, 2-bathroom. So really look forward to coming back to you next week. We had some interesting news this week with the underlying, or better known as core inflation, which is what the RBA focuses on. That did drop down to 3.2%. Now, that's getting very close to the mandate of the RBA, in particular Michelle Bullock, of the 2 to 3% target range. Now, if you're not sure, core and underlying inflation removes things such as volatile goods and services, including fuel and food. So that's really what they focus on. They don't focus on headline inflation, even though that's been coming down quite a little bit lately. But core and underlying inflation is very, very key and pinnacle to the Reserve Bank. So it will be interesting to see if we do get a reduction. Obviously, it hasn't hit that desired target range, but it's getting very close. So we'll see a reduction very soon, or it could actually be this month. But regardless, this calendar year, the next trajectory in cash rate, currently at 4.35%, will be certainly in a downwards fashion, which will certainly boost and stimulate the current market at the moment. So look forward to seeing you next week. And there was a great podcast which I did with the excellent Liam Garman from REB. That'll be dropping next Friday, and that's all about the auction process, which I was talking about, especially the final week leading into the auction, about having face-to-face buyer meetings with the qualified buyers in order to forensically qualify them. And that's what Josh and the team does. That's Sam, Ben and Marin, outstanding at what their role is as associate agents to Josh, and also includes very high quality vendor education. And it's not a conditioning process, it's just over communicating and educating the vendor using objective metrics, absolutely. So around, what are the web views, what are the contract changes, what are the bids that have been made prior to auction, and all of that versus the actual numbers coming through. So some terrific content in that podcast. Liam and myself ended up extending it, and there'll be 2 episodes that will come out of that podcast. The first one will drop next Friday, so keep an eye on that. And thanks, Liam, for your time. It was great to catch up, and certainly a great supporter of mine at REB. And I do enjoy writing a weekly article for that terrific publication owned in conjunction with Momentum Media. God bless, live with virtue, and I'll see you next week.